I recently experienced the Galactic Starcruiser, also known as the Star Wars Hotel, and I cannot wait to tell you about my experience.
I'm Christina. I'm a traveler, a planner, and most importantly, a mom. I'm sharing my best tips to make traveling as a family a little less stressful. So put down your phone, pack your bags, and let's showcase the world.
My name's Christina, and I am the founder, lead travel planner, and globetrotting mom at Showcase the World Travel, an award-winning modern travel agency dedicated to helping families take a break from the busy. And I love to experience new things at Walt Disney World, so I was super excited when my brother asked me to join him on the Starcruiser. I was excited at first, and then I was really nervous because I didn't know what to expect. I'm like Star Wars. I grew up watching Star Wars with my dad and my brothers, but I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, so I didn't necessarily know what that was going to mean for me. And so I'm coming to share my thoughts, not as a Star Wars fan, not as a member of the media, but as someone who just got to experience Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser. And let me tell you, I absolutely loved it. I love escape rooms, and I love like a good live dinner theater. And Star Wars Starcruiser, Voyage upon the Halcyon, is very much like if you take an escape room and dinner theater and mash it up. It is so absolutely so much fun, and we were there with a ton of people who weren't necessarily Star Wars fans. Of course, there were huge Star Wars fans, but then there were a lot of families where one person was a Star Wars fan, and the families were so excited. One of my favorite moments was meeting a dad and his 12-year-old daughter. His wife was off with his 10-year-old daughter, and they were just having the best moment bonding together over this experience. And so it's really unique, and it's a really fun way to create memories with your family. And like I said, I didn't know what to expect. I was nervous going in. I didn't think I was going to necessarily love it, and I did. And I think it was worth every penny, and I definitely would do it again. So what is this experience like? So you are brought to the Halcyon. We took a minivan over from Saratoga Springs. We were staying at Saratoga Springs. We left our kids with my mom and my dad at Saratoga Springs, and we got in our minivan and ended up over at Starcruiser. So you board the Starcruiser. They do put your bags through security, so make sure you don't have anything that's on the do not bring list, or it will be held for the duration of the trip. And you go through security, and then you board the Halcyon. And once you get on the Halcyon, there's going to be somebody who kind of tells you what's happening, what's going on, and will bring you to your room. They will bring you to your room, and then they'll give you kind of an update as to, or not an update, but they'll give you kind of here's what's going on in your room. Very similar to if you were boarding a cruise. So you're going to end up in your room. Your bags will be delivered to your room later in the day, so make sure you have anything that you need in a day bag. So you're going to go to your room. You're going to check it out. Very comfortable room. Very cool. There's some technology in there that's really fun to interact with. There's a droid that you can interact with. You have the queen size bed as well as the bunk beds, and my brother and my sister-in-law didn't want to sleep in the queen bed together because they have a king bed at home, so they slept in the bunk beds and they found them very comfortable. I slept in the queen by myself, and it was also very comfortable. The bathroom is very small. It's very much like being on a cruise ship. So if you've been on Disney Cruise Line, the rooms are very similar in size. If you're used to staying at a deluxe resort, they're going to seem pretty small. But again, they have some really cool features like a table that comes in and out that gives it a little bit more space. You have some amenities in there that you can use during your trip as well, and then there's water in your room, which is a huge lifesaver when you are running around all day. So then you can kind of go around and explore the ship. We headed right into the lounge to get some snacks and a drink, and we made it our mission that while we were there for the 2 nights, we were going to try every drink on the menu. And so we started with a few, and they were all delicious. My favorite was the Dagobah Vimlet, which is basically a gimlet. A few of them do come in souvenir glasses, so we had to get those, of course, because you can't get them anywhere else. So we hung out there, had a little snack, explored a little bit, went down to the cargo bay, and just kind of found different areas on the ship. And there's not a whole lot you can do until the actual show starts, but then you'll start seeing some characters pop up and you're like, oh, what's going on? And then you have your muster drill. At the muster drill, that's where the show kicks off, the characters are introduced, and you kind of start to see the beginning of some storylines there. You have your data pad activated on your cell phone through the Disney Play app, and you're able to make choices there. Your storyline is determined by the choices that you make on your data pad, as well as the characters you interact with. And so we started interacting with a character, and that's kind of the path we ended up on. We just kind of went with the flow, and it just didn't. We went to dinner after that. Dinner is definitely a show. There is a theater performance during the dinner. The food was good on a whole. I wouldn't say it was the best dining experience I've had at Walt Disney World. There was always one standout item from each meal that I was like, ooh, that was really good. I would get it again. Everything else was fine. There was not anything that I was like, oh, this is disgusting, I can't eat this. But nothing was there was only one overwhelmingly this is delicious dish per meal. So that dinner's really fun. You have an intergalactic superstar join you and perform during that meal. And then you get to go explore the ship a little bit more. But now things are happening. Missions are happening. You are following your data pad to different locations on the ship to solve puzzles and check things out, like an escape room. There are systems throughout some of the hallways that you interact with, and then the characters pop up as well. I don't want to do any spoilers, but probably one of the best moments ever was being in an elevator with a character that I have loved since I was a little girl. And my brother was geeking out big time. So tons of fun interacting. You don't have to necessarily be bold or, take on a character or anything along those lines. You can just kind of take the lead from the characters. So if you're introverted, which surprisingly I am, and I was a little anxious about interacting with these characters, it is definitely a lot easier than it appears to be. Bringing more people in your party, so if you can get as many people as possible to go with you, then that's going to make it all a little bit easier as well. There's the captain's table at dinner. The captain doesn't really sit there very often because she's involved in a bunch of different things, so I definitely wouldn't recommend the upsell on the captain's table. We ended up back in the lounge again. We were hanging out with some characters, some friends, and then, you wanted to get to bed early because you have a lot of things going on the next day. Don't miss the trainings. There's lightsaber training, and there is bridge training. So some of the advice my brother got was to, if a character tells you to be somewhere, be there. And so we missed bridge training, and then it ended up being a little confusing when we had to do something in the bridge later. So try not to miss those trainings. If you can get them earlier, or if you can get them the first night, I would highly recommend that. So ask the people at guest services. They do call it something different there. Ask the people at guest services if you can move your training to the first night so that you don't miss any of the things when you get back from Batuu the next day. So you wake up the next day, you get to go to Batuu for the day, and on Batuu, it's just a completely different way to see Batuu because you're doing these missions and you're seeing things that you may not have noticed if you've never stopped and looked around Batu. You have plenty of time on Batu, so you can definitely, we popped out, we went on Star Tours, we did a capture your moment session, we did do the photo session on the ship as well. I definitely think that's worth the cost because we got some great photos there, and I'll pop a few in to the video so that you can see us all dressed up in our Star Wars gear. You don't have to dress up to enjoy this. Not everyone was dressed up. I'd probably say half and half, and there's some people who went really far out as well. So we did that on the ship, and then you go to Batu, and it's just a lot of fun with this extra, these extra missions added on, doing the data play app. We ended up back on the ship. We had lunch back on the ship. Instead of having lunch, you do have lunch included at Docking Bay 7, but we figured we can go back to Docking Bay 7 when we go back to Hollywood Studios later in our trip. So we went back onto the ship for lunch. We had a nice leisurely lunch and then started our missions up again. And the missions are just so much fun. I don't want to share too much, but you definitely kind of choose a path you want to follow. There's 3 or 4 paths that you're gonna end up based on your choices. You can decide up front if you have a path that you want to choose, what one of the 4 paths you want to go down, or you can kind of just let it see where it takes you and enjoy it. And so the Galactic Starcruiser, the finale is incredible. The technology used, the talent of the cast is incredible. Those cast members definitely work really, really hard, and you can see why the cost is what it is, because you're paying all of these cast members in addition to all of the things that you're getting included in this cruise. And so the price might seem like a little high for 2 nights, but when you actually look and see what you're getting, it is a fantastic value. It is so much fun, and I cannot wait to go back. My brother, I have 3 brothers, and so my brother Michael didn't get to go with us because he had a newborn baby, and so I can't wait to go back with him because I know he's gonna love it. My brother Andrew's gonna love it as well, and so we kind of made a pact that the 4 of us are gonna go, and then when our kids are old enough, I would definitely not bring young children. I would say 6 and up, maybe even older than that, 7 or 8. And up to really get the most out of this experience. There were some people with toddlers and babies, and I just could not see enjoying that with my 4-year-old, or if she was any younger, I would definitely wait until they're a little bit older. So we're going to go back, the 4 of us, and then we're going to go back when our kids are older and can enjoy it as well. And so I highly, highly recommend it. I did not think it was going to be worth the money. I did not think that I was going to enjoy it, but I think that everybody, whether or not you're a Star Wars fan, the experience is just so much fun, and it's just going to bring your family closer together and make those incredible memories. So I would highly, highly recommend the Galactic Starcruiser. There is a lot that I wish that I had known in advance, and so I definitely recommend booking with a travel advisor who has been on the Starcruiser and can help you navigate a lot of the things that it's going to enhance your experience if you know beforehand. So I would love to help you plan your Starcruiser trip. Just schedule a call using the link below, and I would love to help you make these incredible memories and have this incredible experience with your family. Don't forget to take a break from the busy.
Need help planning your next family vacation? Visit us at showcasetheworld.com to request a quote or schedule a free vacation consultation. Want more great travel tips? You'll find those there too.